Let's keep things absolutely real. Tonight is a must-win game at home versus AC Milan. In 2 Champions League games, we've picked up 1 point versus Dynamo Zagreb and RB Salzburg. These are teams we should be beating and getting maximum points from. This currently leaves us at the bottom of Group E, and we now play AC Milan in 2 consecutive Champions League games, and tonight is probably the best opportunity to take advantage of a week in AC Milan. They've missed out on players like Mike Maignan, Theo Hernandez, Florenzi, Kerr, Ibra. The list is never ending, and this means that they are short of quality options to turn to as the game is going on. We are playing at home tonight, and as Graham Potter rightfully said, tonight the fans must give the team great support, but at the same time, the team must also give the reason for the fans to get behind them. It's going to take both of us tonight to get the result versus AC Milan, because consider the amount of money we'd be missing out on from the Champions League if we don't progress deeper into the qualification rounds. It's going to be a massive game today. At the same time, it's also going to be a case of Reunion FC. We're going to see the returns of Giroud, Tomori, as well as Thiago Silva, of course, seeing his former club in AC Milan. But for me, sentimentality must be left off the field tonight. There is a job that needs to be completed tonight. And today's match preview, I'm going to do things a little bit different. I'm going to break down the 3 key players to watch from AC Milan. I'm going to go through the press conference. I'm going to give my predicted lineup, and of course at the end give my match prediction too. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hit that like button if you like today's video, and of course give your prediction. Do you think we can beat AC Milan tonight? Getting straight into things. Now let's start things off by discussing the main 3 players to watch tonight. And let's start of course with RAFAEL LEAO. I think one of the key battles on show tonight will be that duel between REECE James and RAFAEL LEAO. I think it's going to be like a battle between like an immovable object versus an unstoppable force. Of course, REECE James has had a budding career so far, currently, pocketing some of Europe's most dangerous wingers. We saw how easily he nullified Wilfried Zaha again, of course, last week. And for me, I think LEAO will be a very interesting test, because LEAO, not only has he mixed that 1v1 threat, that quick movement, that explosiveness, and the great, footwork as well, but he possesses that physicality. I don't think REECE James has really come up against like a really big, strong winger. And I do think that the physical battle between both is going to be key. But for me, if REECE James can dominate and win that battle versus RAFAEL LEAO, this can give us a major advantage at getting a win against Milan tonight, because LEAO is one of their biggest, most potent counter-attacking threats. And if REECE James can pocket him, it means that we can reduce one of their key threats they'll have against us in the game tonight. For me, I'm going to get some inspiration from how REECE James easily nullified Vinicius Jr. over 2 legs, and I feel like James has the ability to kind of stop anyone. I've not seen any winger dominate him whatsoever. LEAO is going to be interesting because he's currently in form. 4 goals, I think 4 assists. He's definitely one to watch out for. And imagine that all of us are excited to see this battle between James and LEAO. Now the next player to keep your eyes out for is Ismail Bennacer. For me, he is like the Kovacic of AC Milan. I think the guy excels playing in a pivot. He has great press resistance. He's very authoritative in his tackles. He has a great engine on him as well too. And he helps AC Milan play forwards. He's very brave. He likes to receive the ball in tight areas. He's regularly receiving with 2 midfield players marked alongside him. That's how good he is in terms of the technical aspects of his game. At the same time, he also possesses a very powerful long shot, which of course we should definitely pay attention to. I think that if we can nullify his influence in midfield, if we can have maybe a 3-man midfield to take advantage of the pivot we should be expecting to see from AC Milan, we can greatly reduce the effect that Bennacer could have on us if we have someone constantly pressing him. So he's definitely a player to watch out for, because he can definitely aid AC Milan. And to end things, it's only right that I discuss Fikayo Tomori. Now, since he's left us, he's become one of Serie A's leading defenders, and his evolution has surprised legends like Chiellini, who mentioned that Tomori completely took him by surprise, and he was one of the key reasons behind why Milan were able to win the Scudetto last season. And it's very easy to see why. Tomori is a proactive defender. He excels in 1v1 duels. He has incredible recovery pace. He has very good timing of his tackles as well too. And when you combine all of these skill sets together, it's allowed AC Milan to push their lines up even more, which adds to their very incredible pressing as a unit and as a team. I think Tomori is going to be one of those key threats, because he has the pace and the tackling technique to kind of nullify any one of our attacking players in a 1v1 duel. So I kind of feel like if we can take advantage, if we can kind of stretch AC Milan's back line and kind of, put Tomori in uncomfortable positions, hopefully we can get something from this game. But of course, Tomori's going to come back here tonight with something to prove. He wants to show why exactly it was a mistake to not fully back and believe in his talents later today in the game tonight. So the other 3 players to watch out for. So right now, let me move on to discussing the 3 key talking points from Potter's press conference yesterday. Now, I want to break things down by discussing 2 points from Potter plus 1 from Koulibaly, who also took part in the press conference. Now to start with Potter, N'Golo Kante was the topic of conversation. As Potter said, NG, as he was calling him, is a world-class player that our team is currently missing. He's another manager in a long list of managers who have literally been praising N'Golo Kante for that world-class, unique ability he brings to our team. I feel like as a fan base, whenever he's out injured, we can kind of forget his influence in our team. And I don't think we can ever do that. And I was really pleased with the comments that Potter had to say in regards to N'Golo Kante. And Potter said he's respecting that Kante can't be rushed back just like that and play games every 3 days. I kind of feel like the reason why Kante is even in this injury situation to begin with is that, since Maurizio Sarri, under Lampard and Tuchel as well too, these are 3 managers that have constantly rushed Kante back. I kind of feel like the guy isn't superhuman. He's been taken advantage of a little bit. And listen, I understand why these managers feel the need to turn towards him because, having Kante in your team does boost your chances of winning. Let's never forget his influence in helping us win the Champions League just a few seasons back. So I do like that Potter, of course, understands the qualities he possesses and why he needs a bit more patience and time to come back to full speed. As he said, Potter's focus is to get Kante to come back fit and enjoying his football. So let's hope we see Kante very soon. And to move on, of course, the magnitude of the game tonight is something that had to be discussed. Potter stressed that, there is big pressure to win this game. And for me, it's the type of pressure that Graham Potter has to get used to. Of course, when you're, leveling up, going to clubs like us where, we have the luxury of being able to actually win trophies and silverware, it means that all the decisions you make can get scrutinized in even more detail because, these decisions can play like a massive part in, that difference between success and failure. Of course, he said tonight that he wants us to get 3 points. It's obvious that we must get 3 points tonight, and he wants to create a good atmosphere in the stadium today. I hope the players and fans inspire each other, and in my opinion, I hope that will make a difference to help us get this result today. So now let's move on to discussing Koulibaly and his lack of minutes and appearances. Now, to start with things, we actually have to go back to Graham Potter very briefly, and he revealed that he was very honest with Koulibaly. He mentioned that he's going to need a bit more time first before he is able to compete for regular minutes in the first team. But at the same time, he was very pleased with how Koulibaly responded to his honesty towards the player. And this was stressed exactly by Koulibaly in the press conference. As Koulibaly said, of course, he knew that coming to the Premier League was going to be a lot more difficult. He's been very used to his environment in Naples. Of course, he's used to how the intensity of Serie A as well too. Coming to the Premier League, to a new environment, new club, as well as a new intensity is something that he needs more time to fully get to grips with and of course be able to play his natural game. He mentioned things like playing in a back 3 compared to playing a back 2 makes things a bit more different for him, and he did stress that he'll probably need 2 to 3 months before he's fully up to speed with things, and he wants to be worth that wait until he finally makes his impact in the first team. I think that is honest. It's quite obvious that he has the quality on the ball. We can't deny that. I feel like the intensity though is making him make a lot of poor decisions, giving away a lot of poor fouls, poor positioning, lack of communication. I think with more time though, hopefully he can rectify these issues. So let's hope that Koulibaly can come back and bring something to this team. But now to move on, let's discuss the predicted lineup for the game tonight. We start with the team news first, and I guess some positive news at least. Guys like Zakaria, Chukwuemeka, Mendy, Jorginho were part of the squad today, and Potter will have a midfield dilemma on his hands because all these guys are coming back to fitness very, very soon. We'll have to wait a bit more time for your Mendy's and Kante's, but not too long. But for me, it comes down to what formation could we see from Potter tonight. We've seen 2 different lineups in the past 2 games, and I'm not going to be surprised to see a 3rd different formation used in the game tonight. For me, it's going to come down to this. I feel like we're going to see a different lineup because AC Milan are the type of team that like to press horizontally. They have very high lines. And when I say press horizontally, in that sense, they want to suffocate their opponents in those wide areas and positions. So my thinking behind the formation I'm going to be discussing in this predicted lineup is that if we could have an extra option available out wide, that could help us play through the AC Milan aggressive press. And for these reasons, I'm going for a bit of a surprising one, but I'm going for a 4-3-3 lineup. My main thing is that over these past 2 games, I have seen some deficiencies in our midfield in terms of fully capitalizing and dominating that midfield. And for those reasons, in this lineup, I've gone for Pulisic, Aubameyang and Sterling as part of a front 3. In midfield, I've gone for Mount, Loftus-Cheek and Conor Gallagher. In defence, I've gone for Ben, Silva, Fofana, REECE James and of course Kepa in goal. Now let me break down my reason behind why I'm not just picking my favourite players in the lineup. I'm trying to think about the tactical reasons behind why this lineup could potentially make sense. Of course, 4-3-3 for me gives us that ability, of course, to have 2 wingers to offer that wide 1v1 threat against AC Milan. Now AC Milan are losing out on Florenzi and Hernandez. These guys are very important for them. They offer the ability to make those underlapping runs inside the channels as well as overlapping runs outside too. And the backups that Milan have to those guys aren't the same level. So for me, we have to take advantage of the weaknesses in AC Milan's fullbacks. And I think that 1v1 threat out wide can help create more spaces and stretch their back line even more. Considering the fact too that AC Milan like to use a high line, I want to see pacey guys, a 1v1 threat down either flank. Now midfield, I've gone for Mount, Ruben and Gallagher. I kind of think currently at this point in time, considering the fact that Kovacic needs a bit more time, I don't want to see him in another Kante situation where, he's forced to get rushed back into the team and then he breaks down again, because it's kind of been killing this guy now over nearly the past year now. And, we know what Kovac's like when he's in full form. I think he needs a bit more time to fully get up to speed. So in that sense, I've gone for Ruben as the DM, and you guys know me, I always think that Ruben's much better influence in the game further forward, but for the sake of the team, his physicality, ability to receive from the defense and play forward could be something unique for us to tap into. And alongside him, I kind of feel Conor Gallagher, after his incredible last minute winner for us versus Crystal Palace, he would deserve some game time, and I think he's much more comfortable playing further forward as part of a midfield 3. I think considering that we have to maybe really press Tonali and Benacer tonight, Gallagher could be quite important for us in terms of winning that midfield battle. And when it comes to his attacking prowess, we know his shooting technique, we know the threat he offers inside the box as well too. Playing to his strengths could of course unlock an even more dangerous Conor Gallagher, and I think he makes sense tonight. And to end things with Mason Mount, it's one of those ones where of course his format has been a little bit slow, but I'm not going to sit and pretend that he's been absolutely awful just because he doesn't have goals and assists. I think Mount's influence in the team is still important in terms of his work rate, his pressing, all these factors that get overlooked. But when you're one of his teammates in the field, you're going to appreciate that work rate and desire that he brings. I think that he does make the team a bit better, and I want to see more of a deeper Mason Mount, no more winger Cam Mason Mount. The guy is a natural midfield player. I think that's been forgotten about because he's been using so many different positions. So I think playing as an 8 a lot deeper could be the thing to really unlock him. And of course, to end things, I want to see some consistency in my back line. So I've gone for the same back 4 that we use against Crystal Palace. So Ben, Thiago Silva, Fofana and REECE James with Kepa in goals. So you guys, that's my thinking and reasoning behind this predicted lineup. Share your thoughts and opinions. Hope you guys are understanding where I'm coming from. And to end things, I want to give my match prediction, and I am going for a 2-1 win tonight. It's very simple. We have to win. It's really that simple. We've got 2 legs against AC Milan. If we can get at least 1 win versus them tonight and maybe get a draw in the San Siro, that is more than good enough for us, because I'd like to think that when we play against Salzburg and Zagreb again, we'll definitely get the 3 points versus them. I think it has to be done. I feel like the team will still need a bit more time to get used to the offensive demands that Potter is placing on the team. So I do hope they take advantage tonight. I hope the fans get behind them, and I hope that we get the win. It's really that simple. So you guys, on that note, that is a match preview. Hope you guys enjoy. I'm EFC, this is BlueLionsTV. Catch you guys later with some more videos.